Welcome to the Do Good Maverick Go podcast, episode number 46. Now, this one is going to be on a pretty similar note as the last episode. This one is about the importance of catching new trends early. I guess I'll mention a bunch of the quotes I mentioned in the last episode because they really apply to this. Wealth is created by a combination of many things, but one of them is catching new trends early. Tai Lopez. The business boat you get into is more important than how effectively you row. Warren Buffett. It's not about how hard you row. It's about what boat you are in. Warren Buffett. And yeah, also this one. Should you find yourself in a chronically leaking boat, energy devoted to changing vessels is likely to be a more productive than energy devoted to patching leaks. Warren Buffett. So yeah, the importance of catching new trends early. Like a lot of investors say, the trend is your friend, and a rising tide lifts all boats. When you think about it, if you are building a business in, let's say, a market, and if the market is stagnant, it's not growing, it's stagnant, and there's already a bunch of competitors, and you're entering into that market. First of all, the market is stagnant, so it's not growing, and there's also established competitors inside that market. It's going to be a lot easier. I mean, it's going to be a lot harder than if that market were growing. And if that market is not only stagnant, but even decreasing, then it's going to be even harder. But yeah, if you can catch a new trend early, usually that means that the market for that thing that is trending is increasing, it's growing, or at least that when it comes to supply and demand, the demand is very high compared to the supply and demand. And one thing that really seems to be trending these days, a new trend that you have a chance of catching early, I think, is paid communities. Especially these days in the day of AI, artificial intelligence, things are changing so fast. But one thing that really seems to be pretty AI proof and probably not going to be disrupted and made obsolete by AI is paid communities, because people crave, need, want that human connection. And when it comes to business as well, it's not just a want or something people crave, like mentally or emotionally, but it's actually something that is key for business as well. Business is about people. And for a lot of businesses, there's either, one thing is collaborations, cross promotions, strategic alliances, joint ventures, partnerships, stuff like that, which makes a paid community to have a lot of business sense. Another thing is that for a lot of businesses, the owners or founders or the people inside these businesses, they have challenges that other owners of similar businesses have the solutions to. Because if there's 50 owners of the almost exact same type of business, they're probably not going to have all the exact same challenges on the exact same time without any of them having a solution to it. So if you can get just owners of businesses, for example, as well, to connect, the kind of advice they could be giving each other, advice, tips, feedback, stuff like that, could also be super valuable. But yeah, these days there is literally thousands of examples out there industries, niches, categories, where a paid community is basically non-existent. It doesn't exist, especially online. You can search and search, but you won't find any because it's so new that it kind of hasn't caught on yet. That's I think that's a trap that a lot of online marketers tends to fall into, is that we are kind of surrounded by other online marketers online, and we see what a bunch of other online marketers are doing. And okay, this thing about paid communities, almost all marketers are talking about it, or so many marketers are talking about it, and it's so hyped up. I'm tired of it. Everyone is tired of it. You might think to yourself, maybe you are surrounded by these make money online people, and maybe that's just why it seems like it's something that people are tired of, but it's actually thousands of examples out there where people are craving it. Because especially after Alex Hormozi invested in Skool, it really took off some extra when it comes to paid communities. But when you look at it and you look at what kind of categories are missing on the Skool platform when it comes to paid communities, it's pretty mind-boggling to think about the opportunities that are out there. So yeah, if you want to catch a new trend early, I think this is a golden opportunity. And the really cool thing about paid communities is that for a lot of paid communities, you can basically start them pretty much for free. A lot of other business ideas and trends, in order to catch them early, sometimes you need capital in order to take advantage of the trend. When it comes to things like an investor, for example, oftentimes if a new trend is coming, they need a lot of capital in order to take advantage of it and invest, and in order to get that return on investment. But the cool thing about paid communities is that in a lot of cases, you can pretty much launch one for free. Really exciting stuff. And for a lot of paid communities, it's kind of like that the members of the paid community is the product. So you're kind of selling access to members. But yeah, if you don't have any members, how are you going to sell access to them if you're just starting out? What a lot of people are doing is that they're starting out with a very low price, and then they're kind of selling the vision and plans behind the community. They're selling that, starting at a low price and gradually increasing the price as the community grows. So that's one way you can do it. And you really don't have to position yourself as the expert. I myself, I'm not an expert. Absolutely not. I failed for decades. So you should be very careful about who you take advice from, including me. So I'm not pretending to be an expert. But you don't have to be an expert in order to point out some things. And when it comes to a paid community, one of the many reasons I think this is a legit opportunity for people that are newbies, so to speak, and people that are not an expert, is that you don't have to be an expert. Because if you're selling access to a community, we are actually the community itself is the main product or the main valuable thing you are selling. Then it's not about you. If it's about the community, then it is about the community, not about you. So yeah, and lately I've been interviewing a bunch of people that are owners of paid communities that is making at least $10,000 in profit per month, because I'm going to make a book and a course and a community about running a paid community. I'm actually going to title the book as Community Cash Cows, because when you look at how many people are using these communities as a kind of a cash cow, kind of like a form of semi-passive income, it really makes the title a great fit. Community cash cows. And yeah, what's been really exciting and actually kind of shocking as well is how fast many of these were launched, and also how fast they were growing from when they launched until they reached $10,000 in profit per month. One lady I interviewed, she launched a paid community, started from zero, and I think she, when it comes to her audience on social media, I think she also started from scratch, or pretty much from scratch, and she mainly used TikTok and YouTube. And on month number 2, at the end of month number 2, she already were making about $14,000 per month. That was revenue, I think. But yeah, that was probably above $10,000 in profit per month. And that was an older lady, not really that old, but she has a few grandkids, and is probably aged at around her 50s. So yeah, it's possible. And it's possible to do it without having a lot of capital. Another guy I interviewed, actually, I have, I have the classic book here, The 4-Hour Workweek, Escape 9 to 5, Live Anywhere, and Join the New Rich by Timothy Ferriss. The classic when it comes to making money online and lifestyle businesses, ideal lifestyle design, passive or semi-passive income online. And when it comes to that book, The 4-Hour Workweek, a lot of people say it's a scam. It's something he titled the book just in order to sell a bunch of books to lazy people. But when you actually look at what he's teaching inside the book, what Tim Ferriss is teaching inside his book, The 4-Hour Workweek, it's not really about laziness. It's more about being effective and getting more done. And when it comes to the 4-Hour Workweek, he's not really promoting idleness either, because what he's trying to teach in the book is to make an automated business that generates an income for you pretty much on autopilot, so that you can focus on bigger and better things. It's kind of about doing more, not less. But yeah, when it comes to the 4-Hour Workweek, there's a lot of people that has been disappointed when it comes to that, because they think it's not possible. And for a while, I was wondering about that myself as well. My goal is not to work 4 hours per week, but the concept is still really fascinating. So I was wondering if people were doing it and how many people were doing it, because there had to be some people doing it. I thought, like, if there's over 7 billion people on the planet, there has to be some people that has pulled it off. According to Tim Ferriss, he made a podcast episode. I think it was titled The 4-Hour Workweek Revisited. And I think he made it 10 years after this book was published. Was it in 2006? I'm not sure. Or was it 15 years after? Anyway, he made an episode about it, and he mentioned, was it thousands of people, or over, I might be quoting this wrong, but I think he said something like over 100,000 people had built businesses like that. And I think he meant lifestyle businesses where they were working 4 hours per week or a few hours per week. But yeah, maybe he were wrong about those numbers. To me, it sounded pretty high. But yeah, there are success stories out there. To me, it sounded really high because a few years ago, I saw Tim Ferriss posting online. I forgot if it was on his blog. I think it was on his blog and in his email list. he posted he wanted to find 4-Hour Workweek success stories, people that had read his book and had a success story from it. And he wanted people to make a YouTube video about it and post it on YouTube and send him the link. Then I went on YouTube and I looked at a bunch of those 4-Hour Workweek success stories, and it was extremely disappointing. It was like people had read the book and gotten really inspired and felt really good and thought the book was amazing. Yay, success story. That's not really a success story of a 4-Hour Workweek. So that part was disappointing. But that doesn't mean that success stories didn't exist, but I was kind of shocked when I saw those responses or those supposedly success stories. But yeah, a really cool thing that I discovered when I started interviewing people about these paid community success stories was that one of the guys I interviewed, I did not know this before I interviewed him, but during the interview, it appeared to me, or he explained to me, that these days he was working less than 4 hours per week, and he was profiting, was it about 18,000 or 28,000 euros per month. He and his friend were profiting that each. And these days, he was working less than 4 hours per week. And for him, in his situation, that was great because then he could help take care of his sick mom, help her get to hospital appointments, spend time with her. So yeah, my point is the dream of freedom is possible. And when it comes to those of you that are interested in semi-passive income, choosing the right business model is tremendously important. But yeah. Anyway, that's kind of exciting that in addition to this with paid communities being a growing trend, it's also a really fascinating business model. You can either work like crazy if you want to and try to scale it as much as possible, or you can build one as a cash cow, where you kind of build it as a community cash cow and have it as a form of semi-passive income. Or you could even do both. You can decide to work a lot. Maybe you decide to work like 60, 70, 80, 90 hours per week for periods if you want to. And then if you suddenly want to go on a 6-week road trip, you can do so. Just bring your laptop and work like a few hours per week. And you have your community as a cash cow that might be generating multiple 5 figures in profit per month. You know, of course, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but I'm just saying it's possible. Yeah, it's exciting stuff. So both this being this with paid communities being a good business model when it comes to how easy it is to manage and automate, and also it being a trending and growing industry. The combination of those two is really fascinating. But yeah, anyway, if you want to learn from those real life success stories that I've interviewed, you should check out communitycashcows.com. And if you join the community, you can also connect with a bunch of other people that are also in the process of building their own paid community as well. Check it out on communitycashcows.com. All right, God bless.